Can you spot the difference? That's a tough one. I don't mean to put you guys on the spot. I mean, there's minor differences here. Very minor differences. I will explain everything as we get going here. So right here we have inline baler. Okay, this is a Massey Ferguson 1840 Heston. So Heston came up with the idea of the inline baler. That's what I'm saying. Fight me if you want. Heston came up with the idea. Okay, we got some piggies over here. They're excited to be out. Just bear with me. They're gonna be barking over there because they like barking. Heston came up with the idea for the inline baler. They made the best inline baler out there, period. This thing can chew through the hay. I'm telling you, I had an older model and it did almost as good as what this newer model does. This is, let me look here, 2014. So that's 2014 model. Okay, the new ones have not changed much at all. I mean, what have they done? They did something back here, but minimal. But really, the overall design, nothing's really changed. They may have made the bale chute just a little bit longer, but yeah, basically the same design, same everything. What is an inline? Inline means you are driving with the hitch straight over the top of the windrow. Okay, right, so the tractor, you're sitting on the seat and you're driving over the top of the windrow that is directly behind you and picking up the hay that you're driving over the top of. Okay, that's inline. All right, this is offset baler. Okay, this hitch swings over and pushes this off to the side to where if you're driving in the tractor and you got this thing hitched up, windrow is off to the side. Okay, and your tire is not touching the windrow but close, and the windrow is over here, so the baler is picking up everything over here on this side. Okay, that's the offset. So that's the difference between those two: inline, offset. Okay, got that clear? So offset has been, I'm pretty sure, hey, tell me the history if you know it. I'm pretty sure offset has been, that's it. That's the only way it's ever been. That was the invention of the baler back in the day. It was the inline that was later, and Heston, I'm saying it again, Heston did it and mastered it. So we just got this last year. I have not been, I've been around plenty of offset, so I can't really say offset is much better than inline. I can't say inline is much better than offset, but I know, I can tell you this one is bigger, better, faster, and stronger than this one. Hands down, that's a fact. Bigger, better, faster, stronger. Yes, this is a 565. Okay, they go 570, 575, and 580. Okay, they get bigger and bigger, higher capacity. I've never ran a bigger one, but I'm gonna say this model can't keep up with this guy. A bigger model? Most likely yes. I am very impressed with the way this can bale the same as this. Same field, same windrows. Speed, we do have to back down on the speed on that one. You have to go a little bit slower to make the consistent bale. Okay, not size, but density. Okay, so it's gonna make the same bale length, but it might not stuff the same amount of hay into each bale, if that makes any sense. So this can make 35-pound bales the same length as a 50-pound bale. Okay, that explains it a little bit. So I don't like that. This guy, it doesn't matter how light the windrow is. If you're getting into a little skinny spot of the windrow, and then all of a sudden you get to a big old fat spot of the windrow, this thing is still going to make a 45-50-pound bale every day, all the time. This guy, no, it will take that small skinny windrow and make one bale out of it, and it's a 30-pound bale. I do not like that about that. You offset guys watching this, please tell me why. Why is it so much better than the inline? Because I'm an inline guy. I'm stuck. I'm never going to buy an inline, no, or an offset. I'm never going to buy an offset. I bought an offset. Price was too good. I couldn't stop. But this is great because now I know why I like this one better than that one. Let's just start right here with my list. All right. So inline, high capacity. I already talked about that, but I'll say it again. High capacity. This thing can spit out a 45 to 50-pound bale every, I've seen it do it consistently 5 seconds. I don't like to see that because that is hard on the machine. Every 5 seconds, and sometimes 4. If you watch my intro video, you can, it's real time. You can see it spit out a bale pretty daggone quickly. But it'll do it consistently over and over. The same size, same density, weight, length, everything. This guy, if you are not driving the correct speeds, you have to feed this correctly to get the right bales. Okay, capacity. This thing, chew through the hay. This guy, okay, yes, I have seen it. Grab a double windrow and spit out bales, but they are not consistent. They're different lengths, they're different weights, not consistent. Okay, there's number 1 on the list. Number 2, uniform bales. Uniform bales, right? That plays right into what I was saying capacity wise. Uniform bales means every bale is the same length, the same weight, every single time. Uniform. This one wins on that every day. This one, not so much. Okay, there is options, all right? Let me show you this. Let me show you. This right here is what they call bale skis. Skis, okay? It's just a plastic liner that goes on the inside of the chute, and it's got these little fish scales cut out of it, and it grabs the hay as it's being stuffed, and it won't let it go back. So it helps with the density and the uniform of the bale. So that's the bale skis, right? This guy does not. This is just bare steel. The chute the manufacturer made. They have wedges you can put in here to act the same as what those bale skis do. So there's a set here, and there's a set right up front, right up here. And I've got one more set that I could put in there if I need to. Number 3 on the list. All right, that's number 3 on the list. Bale skis. Uniform bales, not so much. Bale skis help that. Brought this tape measure out so we could measure things off a little bit. Okay, we call that the chute, the bale chute. And to where the plunger stops stuffing, okay, which is going to be right about where those hay dogs are. I'm going to measure right to there, right? That's going to be where I'm measuring to. Okay, touching the hay dog. 51.5 inches. Got it? If you can see up that far, it's a magnetic tip. It is catched. It is magnetic. It is magnetized to the hay dog. Now we come back here. What do we got? We are 72. We're not even, I can't even go that far because the chute's in the way. 73, maybe even 73.5. So we got 20 something inches more of a chute. That makes a big difference on the consistency of the bale itself. So they do make extension kits. You can buy an extension kit and get another 2 feet, I think, on the end of this chute, which would basically get it to the same length as that. But that's the secret. You got consistent back pressure and stuffing happening to make the consistent bale length. With me complaining about the uniformity of the bales, it still makes good bales. Don't get me wrong. There's a reason why people keep buying these and keep using these. Another obvious thing is the pickup. Okay, this is the pickup right here. There's the pickup right there. Got it? Now, look at the size of that one compared to the size of that one. Big difference, right? Huge. This thing, okay, granted it's not down to the ground, but I'll go eyeball to where the fingers should be about to the ground, right about there, all the way up. I'm gonna say that's about 26 inches from here, 26 inches from there to here. Got it? 26, so when that's down, of course it's not going to touch the ground. It's going to be a couple inches off, same as that one. But you have to bring the hay 26 inches up off the ground and into here before it gets fed into the baler, right? Now, this guy. What do we got? We have, I'm gonna call it 11 inches. That's what I'm gonna say, 11 inches. That's a major difference. Major difference. Okay? If you're wanting throughput and consistency, you get a skinny little windrow, and you have to grab all that up. Check this out. What's the distance between here to here? I don't know. We'll say 16, we'll just say 16 inches, okay? What's the distance from here to here? Half that, 8 inches, all right? Not only Not only do you have to lift that hay up much higher, but you have a much larger spacing between the fingers that's grabbing that hay to get it to the point of delivery. Over here, it's just a tiny little comb quickly rotating and shoving that stuff into there very quickly. This guy, if you have small stuff, light windrows, short stalked material, it's going to sit there and roll that stuff up before it finally feeds it in, because it can't grab it and pull it all the way in because it's just too short and small. So that's the other issue with this. So then you have to rake it accordingly, which we don't do that. When we rake, it's a straight row up and down, period. That's just what we do. If you're raking just for this baler, you're gonna have to find those thin spots and combine those windrows to make it feed into this correctly. Okay, there's a tine that I forgot to replace. I really like that small short pickup. It's less damage to the hay itself. You're gonna knock less leaves off and be more gentle on the material before it gets thrown into the stuffer, which goes to the next point, right? So the stuffer plunger, okay, we've got, hang on, let me just show you. There it is. Got it? Augers bring the material right to the center. Those four fingers grab and bring it right up to the plunger, and then the plunger shoves it right back into the bale. Got it? This guy, even if you're to have the windrow right up here, it still has to come up and wait for these guys to bring the hay over, which I'll show you that. Did you see how long that took? I had to turn quite a bit to be able to get those fingers to grab something and push it over into there. This guy, super quick. Let's go the right way. Here it comes again. Bang. Feeding right in there quickly. This just takes so much more action to get the material to there. But this does not plug, hardly ever. Okay, this guy is so aggressive that something happens, you may get into a big wad of hay and all of a sudden, bang, that dude plugs up tighter than a bale itself. Then you're sitting out here, these things are holding all that plug into there. That is plugged because it stuffed it in there so tight. Fight it, and fight it for a half hour. You're so mad, your hands are bloody, worn out, sweating like crazy, and I'm never doing that again. yeah, guess what? You're gonna do it again. This guy, I think we only plugged this once last year, and that was because of the instructions I gave Wilson. So it's my fault that it plugged. And it really wasn't even that big of a plug. Once we changed the shear bolt, I think he started it up and boom, it ran just fine. It just won't plug. I don't know what the magic is behind it, but it just won't plug. Maybe we're not feeding it fast enough. I don't know. So that's a plus for this guy. Those of you keeping score at home, let me know. I say +1 for this and +10 for this so far. That's where I'm at. Okay. Other obvious point on this is hydraulic pickup. Drop that down, the pickup, drop it down hydraulically, raise it up hydraulically. That is what these two are for. This machine can have that. That is an option, but this particular one did not come with it. I've now looked into it to see how it goes, but that is an option. This does not have it on it. When you get to the field, that string goes to the cab and unlocks this right here, and then this tongue swings over to get this offset going, right? When you get to the field with this guy, you hit the lever, drop that down, and you're baling that quick. Not only do you have to swing this manually, but you have to drop this manually. And to swing that thing, you don't just pull the cord. Got it? Now, you got to come back here. You got to grab this block. You got to stuff it under the wheel. Pull that rope. And then go forward enough until you lock it into whatever position you choose. Get back out. Grab the block. Store it away and go. Minus 3 points for that one. All right. Now we got serviceability. Okay? Shields, serviceability, everything that needs to be serviced on this machine is PTO, plastic, note that. We've got grease joints, or grease, we've got grease zerks, we got to oil the chain, we've got a chain, 2 chains down in here. We've got grease zerk underneath this guy. You have to have the timing correct to be able to get to that grease zerk. That's an important one. Touched it. Then you got a crap ton of grease zerks on the knotter system, which is always a few here, a few there. Okay? And here's all your twine. Serviceability on this is mid. Chains, 1 chain. There's 1 chain underneath here. You got to take this off to get to it. Dad, he drilled a hole right there, right above the chain, put a little flap, moves the flap, and dribbles the oil right on it. Great idea. I haven't done that. Okay, this guy, service. PTO, right? Look at this guy. Metal. Love it. These metal PTO shafts last until you crash them. Like, you have to get something into it to dent the daylights out of it to where it ruins it. Plastic. Oh no. Oh, wire fell on it. Oh shoot, it's trash now. Now it's going to be ruined. Shoot. Now these plastic ones don't last for nothing. I am so impressed that this has lasted as long as it has. They just fall apart. The one on the bell bearing, trash immediately. Serviceability. Open up that flap. We've got gearbox service. We've got plunger service. Chain. Close that back up. Over here, what do we got? Boom. Chain. Grease. Belt tension. Got it? Just a quick open up here. Knotters. Grease. Easy. No fan, mind you. That has a fan. Blowing the knotters, keeping some of that chaff off the knotters. Grease zerks. Twine. This is it. It's all you can fit. 4 balls of twine. We could fit 5 in one side. Okay, that's quite a bit more. As far as this cabinet goes, chain, but yeah, chain you could lube here. Here's the fingers if you need to move those and adjust things. And storage of nothing, because you cannot store anything here. It says so right there. Serviceability, it's a toss-up. I feel sorry for this guy, so I'm going to give it a +1 over this guy. I don't like the fact that you have to turn this around and time it just perfectly to get to that. Same as up here, you have to turn it to time it to get to that grease zerk. Offset means offside. So you're driving, the windrow is here, you're driving off of the windrow, right? In the spring first cut, our windrows are so tight together because they're so large that you're gonna have to run over the windrow here to be able to pick that one up, unless you're able to bale this one and then get this one. But then this one you have to pick up with the bundler, the bale bearing, and then you got bundles in the way. You can't even get to this windrow. So it doesn't, we fight it in the spring. Okay, second cut, there's enough room, you can get through it all. This guy, you run over the windrow, next windrow is right here. Doesn't matter, it's out of your way. Even if it's baled, even if it's bundled, the bundle can be right there and doesn't matter. You're baling right here on this window. You're driving directly over the top of it. Points again for that guy. Tension system on this, and yes, this is a base model, so we got the spring tension there, and the spring tension is old school spring tension. It once you set it, that is what it is. That's the only pressure you got, period. As much as that spring will push on that to create that bale. This has a hydraulic tensioner, and as far as the hydraulic tensioner goes, it will always keep the exact pressure that you set it at. So if there is a light windrow and there's less material coming in here, that'll squeeze harder because it's needing more, it's meeting the pressure that you set it at. So it'll compact that small windrow to the right bale density that you're shooting for. The spring tension will not. It just is what it is, and you have to adjust your speed or whatever with the tractor to feed it enough material to make that correct bale density. Over here, no, doesn't need it. Hydraulic pressure, score again for this guy. And the other obvious is the spray system, the preservative system. We are going to add the preservative system to this. Haven't done it yet. I did put a camera on the back of here so we could watch, because you can't see. I mean, this is almost what you see when you're looking from the cab. You don't see anything but this hood. So now you can look at the bales and see if you're missing a string. You can count the bale timing. So we've always said 7 to 8 seconds of bale. If you're over 8 seconds of bale, you're not running this thing at capacity. So I want to move and get through the field as quickly as possible and run this thing at capacity. Yeah, you can sit there and make a 30-second bale if you want to, a 50-second bale if you want to, but you're just putting along, you're wasting time, wasting fuel, wasting motion on the baler itself. So if you want productivity and capacity, 8 seconds or less on the bale. I haven't watched and counted the time it takes to make a bale. I haven't. So I know it's going to be longer than 8 seconds. I know it is. 10 seconds, maybe more, maybe even 12. So there's my take on inline versus the offset. Please let me know in the comments what you think. If I'm totally wrong, tell me, please. I want to hear your argument. I want to know what you think, because this is what I think. I'm in love with this guy. This guy, it does the job. I'm not a hater, but it's not making the consistent bales like this guy. And I want quality. I just want to make, if somebody buys my hay, I want them to grab every bale and say, oh, I got my money's worth on this one. This guy doesn't do it. This guy, I've grabbed bales from this and I'm thinking, I don't like it for the customer because I don't feel they got their money's worth. I'm going to give a shout out to Frank, my man. I'm assuming you're a man because your name is Frank. Maybe you're a girl that's named Frank, or maybe, anyway, shout out to Frank. He's been wanting this side-by-side video comparing the two. I'm sorry it's taken this long, but I finally got to it. This has been fun. I've talked a bunch. I know there's more to talk about, but right now I'm just going to say, hey, this is where I'm at. My arms are getting tired. If I'm not doing this, then I'm holding the camera and doing this. Anyway, I appreciate it. I hope you guys learned something with this. This is fun. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you for tolerating my non-stop jabber. And yeah, we'll be baling soon. It's gonna be great. Another week or two, we'll be out there in the field. These things will be getting dusty, dirty. Everything that I just did, meaningless. Hey, thanks a lot. See you guys.